Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another Stryd webinar. As always, my name is Evan. I am here to give an exciting update, a brand new feature release coming to the Stryd Android app. This is a feature that we previously had released on the iOS side, and this is the Insights feature. It has now made its way to Android. We appreciate everybody's patience, those that use Android. We're really excited to bring this release live today. Starting off, like I mentioned, this is currently available on iOS, and you can find the most updated version of the Stryd app on the App Store for iOS. And this whole webinar is going to be focused talking about the new Stryd Insight feature on Android. If you have not already downloaded the update, you can go to your Google Play Store app on your Android phone, and you can download the latest version of the Stryd app, and it will be complete with all these new insights. We're going to talk about what the different insights are. We're going to be talking about how to tag your runs, and then just going a little bit in depth about the different insight cards. So let's get started. I will also say, if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to send those in the chat box, and producer Kaylee will be able to send those our way, and we'll be able to cover those at the end of the webinar. So starting off, like I mentioned, Stryd Insights, brand new feature. What are Stryd Insights? Well, Stryd analyzes and compares similar training sessions to uncover new insights and connections in your data. The insights are unique to you and your running data and delivered after every run. There are some insights that we deem automatic insights, so insights that are already delivered no matter what you do in terms of tagging your runs, and then some insights that are delivered based on you giving us a little bit of information. So we'll talk about some of the differences and some of the distinctions between them. Starting off, the important thing here to know is how to tag your run. So this is valid whether you're an iOS user, whether you're an Android user, you're a new Stryd user, you're a older Stryd user, whatever your experience is. Tagging your run gives us more information to be able to give you more information in return. You can find this in your Stryd mobile app by going to the calendar section, by pressing the tag icon underneath the little heart in the top right corner. Once you press the tag icon, it'll drop you into the run report screen. So you can give your run a title. It can also have the option to be auto-titled. So for this run, the run type was selected as a fartlek workout. The primary surface type was tagged as trail. You can add your shoes. The shoes for this run were the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent. Then you scroll down a little bit more, and you can choose your effort from a 1 to 10. You can choose how you felt, whether great, good, normal, poor, and you can also add custom tags in there as well if you like to keep track of your own custom tags. You'll press the save button in the top right corner, and it's as simple as that. This is something that we highlighted in previous webinars too, but how easy and quick it is to tag your run. This is an extremely important thing to make sure that you are getting the most out of your Stryd data. Insights on Android. We're going to cover all of these individually, but I'll just list them from the top. We're going to be talking about the power duration curve, time in zones, feel in RPE or rate of perceived exertion, run trends, recovery and stress, surface type and run type, shoe mileage, and weather. Starting off here, the power duration curve. This will help you quickly identify runs where you've set a new 90-day best. The blue line represents your 90-day power duration curve, and the purple line represents that run that you clicked into. So we can see here that for this run, there was a new personal best over the last 90 days set from 2 minutes and 22 seconds all the way to 5 minutes and 59 seconds. So that time duration was 3 minutes and 37 seconds, and the wattage ranged from 379 watts down to 369 watts. So this specific insight is really, really helpful to help you identify specific sections that you have set new rolling 90-day bests in. And this is one of my favorite things to check after a workout where I know I just had a really good repeat or a really good test effort. I immediately want to check and see where my power duration curve stands. Clicking into my run, this is automatically tagged for me, or this is automatically added for me. I don't have to tag anything, but I do tag stuff anyway. But I can see my impactful run sections. It also helps you understand some differences in your training, where if you weren't sure that you actually set a new 3-month or 90-day best, but all of a sudden you click in and you can check, it is really, really helpful to help you understand that specific run and give you more information that you wouldn't previously have understood without this specific insight. Time and zones is the next one. This gives you a zone breakdown on every run. Again, this is one that is automatically added. You can press on the specific bar to see time spent in the zone, and then zone 1 duration is displayed at the bottom. Whenever we talk about time and zones, it is also important to remember that these zones are based off of your current critical power. So whether you're using Stryd's auto-calculated critical power or you have a manually inputted critical power, time and zones will reflect that. This is a great way, especially if it's coupled with your auto-calculated critical power. It's a great way to see how your distribution is changing relative to your fitness progression over time. Feel and perceived effort. This is going to be one of those ones, again, where you have to tag your run and tell us. It is only as powerful as you giving us information and letting Stryd know about how you're feeling and how you perceive that effort. You can quickly visualize trends in reported feel and perceived effort. There are color-coded field trends along with some nice emojis on the left-hand side. You can see ranging all the way from feeling bad, poor, normal, good, or great. I like the great emoji because it has some cool sunglasses that it's rocking. And then you can compare your RPE compared to the average over the past 90 days. These individual insights are important as individual selections, but then looking at the overall trends really gives you a lot of information. You can see, depending on your own data, because remember, these insights are unique to you, whether you had a rough patch of a couple days of reporting some runs felt really bad or they felt poor. You can see that color-coded orange or red, and then you can see how you bounce back from that. Or you can see if you had a really, really good training groove, you had a couple really good workouts in a row where you were just feeling great. This really helps you understand and look back in a historic way to help you understand your running. The other sort of thing that I really like here too is looking at the perceived effort. So you'll be able to see what you rated that run specifically, and then what it compares to for an average over the last 90 days. So if you normally do, a threshold workout every other week, and you rate one, all of a sudden it feels like a 9, even though you're keeping the same wattage, you're following your training plan. Using the perceived effort, you can see that maybe you rated a 9, but it averages out to about a 5 or a 6. You can see that maybe you pushed that a little bit too hard, and then you can go right to that feel insight card, and you can see that, oh, the past 3 days, I've actually felt pretty bad, and I marked bad on my feel for a couple days in a row. Maybe I should take a little bit more action and look a little bit more into my data to understand a little bit better. So these are how the feel and perceived effort cards can help work together, and we'll hit on that point one more time before we wrap up here. Run trends. This is one of my favorite things to look at just because it gives you a lot of information, again, over that larger period of time, and you can look between all these different sort of refinements and be able to understand things about your own data. So the run trends card will pop up on long, easy, and recovery runs. You can observe the trends of your runs based on the run type. You can sort between multiple metrics and pick out any outliers to better understand your training. Going from the left side to the right side on the bottom row of the card for the specific run trend, we have your power, which will show your average power. You have your stress, your distance, duration, pace, ground contact time, vertical oscillation, heart rate, and leg spring stiffness. And so one of my favorite things to do here is specifically on long runs, be able to compare, am I increasing my power while I am keeping my distance the same? You can flip between those very, very quickly. Am I keeping my power the same, but just increasing my time on feet? How is my ground contact time responding as I'm increasing the overall stress of my long runs? This is a similar sort of thing that you can do when you look at easy runs and recovery runs. Typically, in a runner's schedule, will only have, one long run a week, one long run every 10 days, 14 days. It depends on the training schedule that you're working with. But for an easy run and a recovery run, you tend to do those a little bit more often. So you can have a little bit more sense of how your training is shifting and how your variability of your easy runs and recovery runs are going by looking again at power, stress, distance, duration, pace, ground contact time, vertical oscillation, heart rate, and leg spring stiffness. Being able to click into all of these and understand your run trends and seeing how that run type is trending gives you a lot more information without you having to manually scroll back and forth on your calendar or look at the overall averages and just try and remember and crunch those numbers in your head. Recovery and stress. This is one of the ones that I look to most often. It's an easy to understand gauge graph to illustrate your daily running stress score. It gives you quick information on your training load for that day. So for example, in this card, today's stress is 106 RSS compared to the normal 42-day average of 55 RSS. This is probably a long run day. The insight that we give here is that this is not advisable for sustained training. Just by looking at that normal chronic training load or that 42-day average of 55, constantly doing 106 RSS every day is probably not going to be sustainable for training going forward. I like looking at this gauge graph and then understanding how it moves as you add chronic training load or as you start to taper a little bit and reduce that. You can start to get some insight into your recovery card that way. Surface type and run type. You can explore the different run types and surface types when you tag. The trail surface type is my favorite because it gives these super cool, unique graphics here on the surface type trail card. It can show extreme detail with your power breakdown, and the run type analyzes the duration percentage over the last 7 days for that specific surface or that specific run type. So we can see in this little card here that 29% of the running duration had been on 7 days or been on trails for the preceding 7 days. Then we can look down a little bit. We can see the breakdown between flat running, downhill running, uphill running, and power hiking, and we can see the breakdown on a cool little graph there. And we can see the different wattage averages for each of those different types of considerations as well, those different categories. So the trail type, I feel like this is one of the most unique looks into your data that you can possibly get, not only with Stryd, but out there in general. So this is one of my favorite things to do. I get excited when I finish a trail run and I mark it as a trail run just to be able to see the breakdown in the data and my different time spent running flat, running uphill, running downhill, power hiking. So very, very fun insight to be able to look into. Shoe mileage. This is another one that we really, really like, and this is a very cool feature in the Stryd ecosystem. We don't want you to risk missing your best performance or unnecessarily risking injury by running on expired or worn out shoes. You can add your own shoes, and you can track the mileage and the number of runs as you progress through the lifespan of that shoe. You can also identify what shoes you wore for your best performances. So let's say you click into a race, but you didn't remember which pair of racing shoes because you just have so many pairs of carbon plated shoes. You can click into that specific activity after you've tagged your shoe and be able to get more information and insights into that specific that specific area of your running. And so this is something we want to be able to give you quick, palatable information, and the shoe mileage card is a great insight to give you there. The weather is the newest insight, and actually when we did this iOS release, we did not have weather as an insight. You'll be able to see the temperature for that run, and again, this is one of those automatic insights, compared to your average for the last 90 days, and the humidity for that run compared to your average for the last 90 days. So we can see in the example card here that this particular run had a temperature of 34 degrees Fahrenheit compared to 43 degrees Fahrenheit for all the runs over the preceding 90 days, and the run had a humidity of 29% compared to 45% for all runs over the preceding 90 days. This is very helpful when you have a little bit of an outlier workout. Here in Boulder, Colorado, we're expecting up to a couple feet of snow this weekend, but yesterday I got out for a nice 60 degrees Fahrenheit run, and so I'll be able to look, going in the future, I'll be able to look back at maybe this weekend and see that, oh, no wonder, I scaled things back a little bit. It was 10 degrees Fahrenheit outside, or that the humidity was all over the place in the summer. If it's my first couple efforts adjusting to running outdoors in a little bit more humid or hot environment, I can take a look back and keep that insight bundled with that card. So the weather is the newest insight and one of the most valuable ones to help keep performances relative and give you more information about your performances over time. We're going to go over a couple takeaways. We're going to go over your questions. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to send them in to us. Takeaway number one is always tag your runs. This is probably one of the things that I stress most if we talk about Stryd specific webinar topics, is always make sure to tag your runs. It just gives not only you a helpful habit and information that you can provide for yourself in the future, but tagging enables personalized insights, and this is so critically important now on Android as well, to tag your runs. If you've been doing this historically, that's great. All these past tag runs will have all these insights generated for them. But going forward, if you have not made tagging your runs in the Stryd ecosystem and the Stryd app something of a priority, this is definitely the time to do it. We want you to tag your runs. We want you to give yourself information. We want you to give us information so we can give you back these really valuable insights. Takeaway number two is tap and hold on the insights. You can find some extra info on some of the insights. Takeaway number three is combine insights for maximal impact. Insights complement each other. So this is specifically talking about things like the weather and humidity insights to be able to give you information, but then also coupling, looking at how you feel, your RPE, your rate of perceived exertion, seeing how those reflect on each other, seeing if the weather is actually having an impact. If you're going through a seasonal change and you're all of a sudden running in more hot and humid weather, and all of a sudden you notice your feel and RPE, you've just been rating it more orange and red on similar efforts, and you've also noticed that all of a sudden you are dropping power on long runs, or you're not able to run as long. Combine these insights to give you a better understanding and have a maximal positive impact on your training. We do want to put a reminder there, if you're watching and you're a new Stryd member, you're just curious, you can purchase Stryd today at store.stryd.com, shipping now. And these insights are available now, and they are released on the Android app. Again, you can go to the Google Play Store app and you can download this latest update. This release has been available on iOS as well. So if you're watching this and haven't updated yet, you can find these insights in your current Stryd iOS app. Again, we do want to stress, even though these insights are here, you do have to tag your runs to get some of these generated insights, like feel, like run type, to get your shoe mileage, to have surface type, to have RPE. You have to tag some of the runs to get all of the insights, but these insights are all available now. We will turn it over to questions here, and I will scroll through some of the ones that producer Kaylee has tagged or sent our way. So first question here is from Eric. When will these data insights be available on the Stryd Power Center? So right now, these insights are only available on the Stryd mobile apps. We think that the display and the platform of a mobile app is a great way to summarize things very quickly post-run, and Power Center is a great way to take a deep dive into your data, use things like the race power calculator to upload custom courses. So there's a little bit of differentiation right now between Stryd Power Center and the Stryd mobile apps, but you can find the insights right now on both Android and iOS. Next question here is, I've tagged my runs with all kinds of custom hashtags: temp range, snowfall, warm-up, cool down. How can I get insights filtering by those custom tags? So we're continuing to add more filtering options, but I would say for this specific question, if you've added custom hashtags and you've added things in the past, things like the temperature and the humidity, those will be auto-generated in there. Things like the power duration curve, those will be auto-generated. It's just the things like how you felt, your RPE, the surface type, the run type, the shoe specifically, those are things that you will need to go through and make a habit of tagging. And that tagging feature has been there for a bit, but having custom tags and custom hashtags is not something that currently can be transposed to these insights. But some of these things that you had mentioned, like temperature and the run type, those are things that do exist. Next question here is, can we please add a note or event button to the calendar? So currently you can use the event planner from the mobile app to help you add events. This is a great feature. We can definitely talk to the team about adding this. But right now in the current Stryd ecosystem, you can add an event specifically and watch as your finishing time and power gets better calibrated as you get closer to race day. Next question here is how to change the temperature. So if you're looking to change your units and your user preferences, you can go to your Stryd mobile app. You can go to settings, edit user profile, and then you can change the Fahrenheit to Celsius, vice versa. You can flip from metric to imperial for distance measurements as well. So you can go to your settings in the mobile app, you can go to edit user profile, and then change what you prefer there. Next question here is really, really good. And I remember this from when we came out with the first version of the insights on iOS 2. So best practice for taking surface and tagging surface when there are two different surface types involved. Where I live, there are 5 types of trails given the weather. You have icy trails, hard-packed snow trails, soft or deep snow trails, muddy trails, dry trails. I never know whether I should tag it based on the surface of the trail condition. This is great, and this is really, really great feedback. The thing that I would say is with specific surface type, we have things like road, track, treadmill, trail. I think we have a couple others in there as well. Whatever the primary surface type is, that is what we currently suggest. So again, you'll get some sort of custom metrics when you tag trails. So if you are running on icy, hard-packed snow trails, soft, deep snow trails, muddy or dry, tagging as trail is going to be the important thing too, to give you that sort of data that we're leveraging with the trail insight specifically. But to give you the option of having a sort of distinction there if you want to be able to look up stuff afterward too, and just be able to make your own notes. Again, you can scroll all the way to the bottom on that run report screen. Make sure to press the tag icon to get to the run report screen. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. You can add your own custom tags in there as well. So if you'd like to make a specific distinction so you can look up a run after the fact and look at your own custom tags, that is something you can absolutely do. Next question here is, which have more info when you tap and hold? So specifically time and zones, it is the one, and we're super excited to continue to bring great updates too. So as we continue to bring great updates in the future, that functionality will definitely be something that we do consider and think about to make sure that tapping and holding on insights is something that reveals more information and lets you understand more specifically on the run trends as well. You can press and hold and swipe between and find that individual run and click into that run. So if you have like an outlier, whether you have a really low duration but high power for a long run, or you have vice versa, you can click into and press and hold on the run trends insight specifically. Next question here is the Android app up to date with the iOS app? So this update is one of the biggest to bring it up to date in in terms of the post-run experience. We are working hard every single day to bring every single factor in the Android app close up to date with the iOS app, and we're super excited to continue pushing forward with that. Next question here is, will you allow color changes for graphs on Stryd Power Center? Some plots have very similar colors. Right now, we do not have any actionable stuff on this, but we can certainly pass this on to our developers for future consideration. I would love to see some custom color palettes for being able to change some colors. So maybe we can talk to our developers about that. But thank you so much, Eric, for that question. It looks like that's all the questions that have come through. I do want to say, anybody watching live, we appreciate you watching live and getting this live up-to-date webinar. Anybody watching after the fact, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like. If you do have any questions afterward, please feel free to drop them in the comments in the YouTube comment section, and we will do our best to answer them or respond to them. And then if you do have any other questions, our support team, fabulous support team, amazing support team, is always available at support@stryd.com. And I do want to give a big shout out to the whole Stryd team for their hard work on this release, and specifically the software team for bringing the Android Insights experience live. This has been super exciting to work on. It's been really, really cool to see everything come to fruition. That is it for this webinar. We will be back to talk about more things on the Stryd YouTube channel sometime in the near future. And we wish the best to you and your running, anybody watching, and we will catch you later.